Hi art teachers, it's Amy. I have some lessons for you today. Actually, I have 3 lessons from 3 cultures. They are all good for 3rd and 4th graders, and they take about 3 class periods to complete. The first one is this one. This is a Chinese willow pattern, plate and student sample. Take a look while I read the anticipatory set. The pattern on this plate is Chinese. It is one of the best known designs in the world, and it's called the willow pattern. If you look closely, you can see the pictures that tell a Chinese story. The Chinese were the first people to paint porcelain patterns in this cobalt blue color. The willow pattern is based on a Chinese design that shows a beautiful landscape. So teachers, the first thing you'll want to do is to Google Chinese willow pattern to get the story. It's like a fairy tale, so that you can read it to your students. And then Google Chinese willow pattern images and you can get the exact pictures that are on the plate. If you're interested in purchasing a plate, this one I have here was very inexpensive. It says Churchill. I think it was less, $7, but that was a little while back. To get this lesson going, we give the students a piece of 12 by 18 construction paper, white, and they look at the images, they draw with pencil, and then they trace over all of their lines with a variety of blue crayons, just regular crayons. Purplish blues, grayish blues, all kinds of blues. As far as vocab for this lesson, value, shade, pattern, monochromatic are all good to talk about with your students. Here's another student sample. I've always wondered what this would look like on a round piece of paper. I've not done it, but that would be another version. All right. Oh, and excuse me, one more thing. Last step on these is to put a little watercolor on them in some areas. But I think it looks great to leave some of it white as well. Okay, next lesson comes from Australia. And here are some things to look at while I read the anticipatory set. This is a set of art prints I bought from Crystal Productions, and this is a student sample. The Aborigines are people who have lived in Australia for more than 50,000 years. They carved and painted pictures on rocks, bark, wood, stone. The pictures are often created with elaborate patterns. The Aborigines have their own ideas about how the world began. They believe that everything in the world was made long ago in a time called dream time. Many of their works tell stories about dream time. The Aborigines decorated and painted caves and rock faces and reptiles, birds, fish, animals. They believed if they painted these animals, they would always be able to hunt them for food. So here's how we start this lesson. Again, we are Googling pictures to print off for the students to look at. In addition, these art prints will be on the tables for them to look at. The thing that distinguishes these early Aboriginal artworks is 3 different things: dots, lines, and an X-ray look. The X-ray was used to teach kids how the animals looked inside, but they stylized it. So here's another print, and this one's got some good X-ray on it as well. And then this one is another good print, turtle. Here's another student sample. And of course, it's always great if they come up with something that's not even one of your ideas. That's the best. We usually start with a sketch, so they're sketching something first. The animal is the center of interest. Movement makes it much more interesting. Pattern, unity. On these 3rd and 4th grade lessons, we use just a few colors of tempera. white, yellow, black, the reddish color. But I've also, here's another student sample, I've also taught these with 5th and 6th graders. And on 5th and 6th graders, I let them use any colors of paint they want. These are samples from 5th and 6th grade. And what you do on, what works well on these dot paintings is paint the field of color first. Paint the yellow, and then if you'll come in and dip the back of your brush into whatever dot color you want, then you can get some really nice dots. We use Q-tips sometimes too, especially for the younger kids lesson. On this one, they've started with a 12 by 18 tan paper, and on these, just a white mat board. And here's one more student sample on the Aborigine. All right, third lesson is Native American art, Plains Indians. So we have over here behind me a shield. This Plains Indian shield is a Cheyenne, and it's painted on rawhide. And if you have one or if you can borrow one, they are great. Okay, a couple different size shields that we've made before. We made these smaller shields for younger kids and the bigger shields for students that have art more often. Anticipatory set for this. This decorated shield is a copy of one made long ago by the Cheyenne Indians of North America. Cheyenne Indians led lives filled with danger and needed protection from their enemies and animals. The shield was one of the Native Americans' most valuable possessions. So again, we're searching and finding images for whatever Native Americans you're studying. The Plains Indians are the ones that had shields. Woodland Indians didn't need shields so much because they could hide behind rocks and trees, but the plains are so flat that shields were very important. All right, as far as steps, you're going to be making both of these out of a paper bag. Open up your bag, crunch it up to give it some texture, and then spread it out over either a paper plate or a piece of cardboard. Glue it on. You can see we've used different kinds of handles, so they've got handles. And then use pencil to design, markers. This one is only markers. This one's markers and paint. And then add ties, yarn, beads, feathers to have their good replica of a Plains Indian shield. So 3 lessons that I've told you quickly, and enjoy them, and I hope that you can at least use one of these in your classes. Thank you.